What's up, YouTube? Demon's Midwinter back with another video. Today is going to be about on section D of my CD collection. This is probably the largest section of any section in my collection. This or I would say S is up there too. But let's get right into this. Starting off, I have an album that I only have the disc of at the moment. I will possibly buy a new copy of this, maybe at some point. This is Diaphalium with Profundus Digden Oktplikten. They're a Swedish black metal band. I can't pronounce anything in Swedish really at all, but this is some solid black metal. I'm not usually the biggest fan of black metal, but this is some solid stuff. Gave us an 81.67% that came out last year. I forget what, or no, sorry, 2020. Damn, I forget it's 2022 already. But yeah, solid black metal though. Definitely check these guys out. If I remember, I'll leave a link to all these albums in the description. If I remember, hopefully I do. Next up is some more black metal. This is Dark Fortress with Spectres from the Old World. I got this at my old local record store back on Long Island in New York. Holy shit, this is some killer stuff. I gave this an 84.08. Came out in 2020 on Century Media. I love Century Media's stuff, or releases usually. This was no different. When I got this, when I saw this, I was like, I kind of need to check this out now. Because I had just gotten a shirt from the Metalhead box, which is where I got the Diaphalium CD in. Yeah, but definitely check this album out if you haven't yet. Next up, I got a bunch from the same band. I have Dark Funeral. This one is Diabolus Interium. Holy shit, this is some killer Swedish black metal. I'm a diehard fan of these guys, and I can't wait for their new album to come out this year. Hopefully, I forget when exactly it comes out, but this is a 2-discer. On the first disc, it's all the tracks, and then there's some bonus tracks on the second disc. But holy shit, this is awesome stuff. I love this album. This might be my favorite Dark Funeral release, not gonna lie. But definitely check this album out if you haven't. Yeah. I gave it a 90.38%. It came out in 2001. Next up, I have Dark Funeral with De Profundus Clamavi ad te Domine, live in South America, 2003. Yeah, holy fuck, this is some awesome, more amazing black metal. This is a live album. I only have the Discords, as you can tell. It came out, I think it came out in 2009. I gotta check that, though. Or my copy did, at least. I don't remember what year it actually came out in, but holy shit, this is a killer live show from, I think it was Chile? I don't remember now, but it was a killer live show. I jammed this a couple weeks ago again, because yeah, holy shit. Check this live album out. I gave it a 90.67. Definitely some incredible Swedish black metal. Then finally, from Dark Funeral is another one I only have the disc of, but this is Where Shadows Forever Reign. Again, Dark Funeral is killer, especially live. Or this isn't live, but any Dark Funeral is good. I forget what record label this came out on, but this is again, more incredible Dark Funeral. I gave this 90.11%. Solid stuff from them. I love this. Next up is a friend's band. I saw this at the record store. I knew I had to pick it up. This is Dark Rites with the Dark Hymns. My buddy Randy is the drummer of this band. I've been a fan of these guys since I started talking with them. Definitely some solid melodic death metal, or some death metal. It's somewhere in death metal. I don't remember exactly. Came out in 2020 on Brutal Records. I gave this an 87.55. Solid stuff. Definitely check this out. Yeah. Next up, we have another 2020 release. This is Dark Tranquility with Moment. This is the 2-disc edition. Came out on Century Media in 2020. I gave it an 89.64%. this blew me away the first time I listened to it. I gave it a lower rating back then because I didn't love it as much or didn't appreciate it as much. But now I appreciate it so much more. It's so good. It's falling apart a little bit, but that's because I'm horrible at taking care of my CDs and stuff. But yeah, definitely check this out if you haven't yet. Incredible melodic death metal. Next one is that in Moment I gave a 89.64% rating, if I didn't say that. Next up is some Dark Throne, the only Dark Throne release I have, which is their newest one, Eternal Hails. I gave this a 87.8. This was, I think, on my year-end list, if I remember correctly. Yeah, solid blackened doom / blackened heavy metal from Norway. Norwegian black metal legends, though. They've changed up their sound big time, though. But I love this album. Came out last year on Peaceville Records. Highly recommend checking this out. Solid stuff. Next two are from the same band. That band is The Day of the Beast, with starting off with the Ultimate Cremation Pyre. This came out in 2017 on Corping Gore Death Productions. I loved this album. I had to give it a couple re-listens to finally get it at the rating I think it deserves, which is an 86.89%. Highly recommend this album. I recommend the next one more, but yeah, definitely recommend this one out. Recommend checking this one out. Next up is The Day of the Beast with Indisputably Carnivorous. The title track alone was incredible. Gave us an 88.5%. Came out last year on Prosthetic Records. Oh, and this is coming out of the case. I might need to change this case out soon. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, some solid, I think it's Death Thrash, if I remember correctly. Solid stuff. I gave it an 88.5, like I said. Definitely check this one out. It would have ended up on my year-end list if I had given it another chance, but nothing I can do about it now. Yeah. Next up is some Death, with this one's Scream Bloody Gore. It comes in a slipcase. Yeah, solid. Well, it's Death. Anything by Death is good. This came out in 1987. This is a reissue of it. Yeah. Solid death metal from Death, obviously, because they are the kings of death metal. I wish I'd gotten to see them live before Chuck passed, but I was way too young. Definitely check that album out if you haven't yet. Yeah. Highly recommend this. If you've never checked it out for whatever fucking reason, check it the fuck out if you haven't. It's Death, for fuck's sake. Next two are from the same album, but I only have the discs. Hold on. This is Leprosy. And another solid album. I gave this an 88.22%. Came out in 1988. Again, it's Death. You need to check them the fuck out. Yeah. Next up, more Death. The next two are Death as well. This one and the next one are Death. This is Human. Not my favorite one, a bit too proggy for me. But still good because it's Death. This one I gave an 87.21%. Standout tracks probably would be Suicide Machine and Vacant Planets, actually, for me. Ooh. Yeah, definitely check this album out if you never have, which I don't know why you wouldn't have, because it's a killer release from Death. Every Death release is amazing. Finally is one I only have the disc of. I gave this a 90.43. This is Symbolic, probably my favorite Death release, because it's the one that introduced me to them. This came out in 1995. I think this might be my favorite Death release. I mean, literally, I love this album. I need to get a new copy of it soon. Next up, I have two from Death Angel. Starting off with Act 3. I gave this a 90%. Came out in 1990 on Geffen, it looks like. Geffen Records. Yeah, solid stuff. I love this album. Death Angel is such a great band and such nice guys to talk to. Yeah. I highly recommend this album if you never have, as well as the next one from Death Angel, which is Humanicide. This is the 2019 release. Came out on Nuclear Blast, actually. Didn't realize that until now. I love this album. It's fantastic. I gave it an 89.45%. Yeah, check this album out if you never have. I definitely recommend it. I'll hopefully remember to leave all these links to all this music in the description below. Next up, hold on, let me just get this. Hold on. Next up is Deathblow with Insect Politics. This is some death thrash out of what's it called? Out of Utah. Decent stuff. Not my favorite thing. The vocals don't do much for me, to be honest with you. I gave an 85% rating, so it's not terrible, but it's still not my favorite thrash album ever. Obviously, there's definitely more thrash I love than this, with better thrash than this, in my opinion. This next one I like even less than Deathblow Insect Politics, and this is Deceased with Ghostly White. I can't get into this at all. Or I can, but it's not my favorite thing. I gave it an 84.25%. Came out in 2018 on Hell's Headbangers, actually. And it's a good album. I can't do the vocals. I don't know why. I just don't care for them, to be honest. Yeah, instrumentally, they're great, though. I like the instrumental parts of their music. Next up is one of my favorite releases of 2020. This is Decimator with Alienist. I gave us an 87.3%. Came out in 2020, like I said. Alien-themed death metal. Or thrash metal, sorry. From Brazil, actually. Came out... Death or Thrash label, or Death or Thrash Records, probably our label out of Brazil. It was, yeah, solid stuff though. I highly recommend this. This next one I like even more than that though. This is Deeds of Flesh with Nucleus. That intro track alone is incredible. Odyssey, holy fuck. I gave this an 88.33%. Came out in 2020. Solid death metal. I'll be seeing these guys at Maryland Death Fest next year, and I can't wait. Might try and get them to sign this as well. Yeah, definitely check this album out if you never have. Solid death metal. Next up are two albums from the same band. I'm gonna be honest, I don't care for these as much as I used to. I don't really care. I never really cared for these. I don't care for the subgenre, which is grindcore. The Fetus. This one is Sharp Blade Sinks Deep. Sharp Blade Sinks Deep. So, grindcore never is going to be my favorite genre. This isn't terrible for grindcore, but still not my style of music, really. I gave it a 78.5%. So it's not terrible. It came out in 2009. I prefer Pig Destroyer, to be honest. And Pig Destroyer is not even a favorite band of mine. I like them, but they're great. JR is a great guy, but grindcore is not my style, really, of music. Yeah. So for grindcore, this is pretty good. Next up is the next Fetus album, which is Sixth Extinction. Both of these came out on Willowtip, by the way. Give us a 78.05%. Came out in 2010. I just can't get into these guys. I've tried so many times. I wish I could, but maybe I'll give it another spin later on. Maybe it'll grow on me. Next up is the latest from Disaster, which is Churches Without Saints. I love this album. It came out last year on Metal Blade. Yeah, I gave it an 87.91%. It was on my year-end list. I love this album through and through. It's such a solid release. Highly recommend checking this out. Next up is a bunch from the same band, and that band is my second favorite band ever, Destruction. This is Sentence of Death and Infernal Overkill on one disc. I only have the disc. It came out in Icarus Music. I need a new copy of this big time. I gave it an 88.08. Came out in 1988. Originally, this is a reissue, I think. But solid thrash from Destruction. I love them. Always have, always will. Next up is another disc only thing, which is Live Without Sense. Solid live album from Destruction. Gave it an 89.82%. Came out in 1989 on Noise International or Steamhammer, one of the two. Yeah, I need to get a new copy of this at some point. So I have the full thing. Next up is Metal Discharge. This isn't my favorite thing from Destruction. I gave it an 84%, came out in 2003. It's okay, just not my favorite album from them, because their classic albums are incredible. This isn't bad. I mean, could I have given it a higher rating? Possibly, but maybe not. Next up is Thrash Anthems 2. Gave this an 84.75%. Came out in 2017. Some solid tracks on here, but overall not my favorite thing. Good stuff though. It's Destruction. I will always listen to Destruction. Next up is a box set, which is the Nuclear Blast recordings, which has All Hell Breaks Loose, The Antichrist, and Day of Reckoning. Holy shit, I love having this in my collection. So this is All Hell Breaks Loose, and in the back it has The Antichrist and Day of Reckoning. I'm a diehard Destruction fan, so when I saw this at the record store, one of the record stores I went to back in New York, I immediately picked this up. Definitely highly recommend picking this up if you don't have any of these albums. Came out in 2018 through, obviously, Nuclear Blast. Gave it an 88.36%. Next up is Born to Parish. I need to get a new copy of this one as well. Just the disc, but this I gave a 90.2. Great album from Destruction. I love this, and the album art is incredible as well. Fatal Flight 17, Born to Parish, Ratcatcher. Holy shit, killer stuff. I can't wait for the new release this year. Next up are the final two things are live albums from Destruction. Starting off with Born to Thrash live in Germany at Party Sound Festival. Holy shit, this is a killer live album or live show. Yeah. Holy shit. I haven't watched the DVD yet. I need to get a DVD player still. Definitely check this live album out if you haven't. Highly recommend it. I gave it a 90.6. And then finally is Live Attack, which came out last year on Napalm Records. Yeah. This is some solid thrash. This is from their live stream they did on New Year's Day last year. When they went up for order, I immediately picked it up. Yeah, holy shit, some killer live stream show. I watched it live. I drove back from Massachusetts to watch it. And holy shit, it kicked ass. Yeah, highly recommend checking this live album out. I gave it a 93.73%. Just a killer live album through and through. Next up, another one that I only have the disc for. I gave it an 80.44. Came out in 2003. I need a new copy of it. It's not terrible, but it's not my favorite. It's mainly the vocals that get me. But it's Destructor with Sonic Bullet. And you do want to get a new copy of this at some point. But it's not my favorite thing in the world, thrash-wise. Could be better, could be worse, though. Next up is another one that I don't care for much, which is Devils by Definition with the Devolution. It's good. It's the vocals that get me. It's some groove/thrash out of somewhere in the U.S., I think. I don't remember now. 82% came out in 2016 on CDN Records, it looks like. Yeah. It's okay. Nothing I would jam regularly, to be honest. It's not bad, though. Just not something I would jam that often. Next up is an album I loved, though. Hold on one second. Next up is Devoid of Thought with Outer World Graves. Came out in Everlasting Spew last year. Made my year-end list. Gave it a 90.8%. Holy fuck, this kicked ass. Some solid Death Doom. Highly recommend checking that one out. I spoke about it already on my year-end list videos. Or one of them, I don't remember now, but yeah. Next up is another album from Everlasting... Oh no, this is Memento Mori. I got it through Everlasting Spew, though. This is Devotion with the Harrowing. Solid, more solid Death Doom. I was big into Death Doom last year, and I will be for a while, probably. Given 84.31, came out last year. Solid stuff. Just didn't go up higher than I thought it would, as high as I thought it would. But it's still pretty good. Definitely check this out. Next two are from the same band. Starting off with Dimo Borgir with Insorte Diaboli. Dimo Borgir, a band that probably doesn't need an introduction, but yeah, symphonic black metal out of Norway, I believe. I don't remember now. So I love them, or most of their stuff. This is a good album. I gave it 83.4%. Came out in 2007. I have the one with the bonus DVD, which I still have to watch. Then next up is a pain in the ass to open because it's one of these multi-folds digipacks, which I hate. But this is Demi Borgir with Abrahadabra. Definitely check this one out if you never have. I love this one. Probably my favorite Dimmer release. Came out in 2010 on Nuclear Blast. Gave it 86.45%. I love this entire album, but the title track, Chest with the Abyss, Gateways. Yeah, solid album. Next up, I only have the disc for, which is kind of sad because it's a classic album. It is Dio with Holy Diver. It gave it an 88.22%. Came out in 1983. It's Dio. I love Dio. I will always love Dio. Yeah, fantastic album. God tier album, I would say even. Next up is a live album from Dio, which is Evil and Divine. This version came out last year. On BMG. Great stuff. I love this. Yeah, 87.14%. Yeah, I gotta check what year it originally came out in. Or it came out in 2020, sorry. Hold on. Solid live show, oh my god. The second disc alone was amazing. Yeah. Next up is some brutal death metal. I'm not usually the biggest brutal death metal fan, but this was pretty good. This is Display of Decay with Art and Mutation. Given 84.75%. This is very hard to see anything on, but yeah, I mean, it's brutal death metal. I'm not the biggest brutal death metal fan usually. It depends on the band, really. These guys didn't do much for me. It came out in 2018 on Gorehouse Productions, but some solid brutal death metal. Next two I might get some hate for, but whatever. I don't care. I love these albums. I love the band. They're lower on my list because, or rating-wise, because, yeah, they're not the best albums out there, but I still like them. We have Disturbed. This one is The Sickness. New metal. I love them. Always will love them. Probably my favorite Disturbed album right here, to be honest. Yeah, not going to talk much about them. It came out in 2000, though. This one came out on Giant Records. I like Disturbed. Sorry if you hate me for that, but yeah, I like them. The next one is Believe. This one came out in 2002. I'm not the biggest new metal fan anymore, but I do like these guys. I like David Draymond's voice. Yeah. Next up is some black metal, which I cannot get behind, not going to lie. Hold on. This is Dodsford with Disease Remnants of the Dying World. I only have the disc where it came out in 2018. I don't care for the vocals on this thing at all. Gave it a 78.2%. Really don't care for it, not gonna lie. Next up, I only have the disc for this one. as well. This is Dragon Force with Extreme Power Metal. I like this one even less than I like Dunsford, to be honest. Gave it a 74.8%. Came out in 2019. I don't care for this at all, not gonna lie. I don't care for Dragon Force in general. They're meh, in my opinion. This next album is incredible. Melodic, symphonic power metal. And this was on my year-end list last year. Dragony with Viribus Unitas. Austrian band. Holy fuck. Check them the fuck out if you never have. Gave this album 92.808%. And holy shit. I talked about it semi-recently on my year-end list, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. It's some solid symphonic melodic power metal. And the final one is a great album, in my opinion. Some sludge out of Israel. Came out in 2010 on Relapse Records. This is Decathlon was Saved by Fear. I gave it an 84.5%. Just finished listening to this for the third or fourth time, I think, on CD. I jam it a lot on my phone when I'm in the car. Holy shit! I was introduced to these guys by Thralls of Metal. Holy shit! Some killer sludge. I love this. I will definitely be checking out more of their music as it comes out. Highly recommend checking this album out. If you like what you saw, that's it for this video. If you like what you saw, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and stay metal.